So I'm really excited about this Hoosier cake that we're going to make too.
Yeah. So again, growing up on a farm family, like the big thing is cooking for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So my grandmother was really great at like cooking for an army, and we were also like the family of potluck dinners. Like whoever was hosting the dinner would make like the big protein, like a big meat, or throw a bunch of barbecue on the grill, and then everyone else would bring like side dishes and desserts. So this Hoosier cake was something typically that my grandmother and my mother made in the summertime, and it's one of the only cakes from memory that I know that my mom makes completely from scratch. Most other cakes that my mom makes, they're like a really cleverly doctored box, but this one was one that my mom would make completely from scratch, and it fed a lot of people because you cook it, it's like long and thin, and it's also like easy to eat with your hands, like you kind of eat it like a brownie.
Yeah.
But the other reason I decided to make this was because my sister and her husband went to school in Purdue, which is where like Hoosiers, like that's a thing of pride. And in Missouri, Hoosiers not such an important thing. That's just what we happen to call the cake. I think my grandmother got it from a friend from Indiana. And so yeah, that's what. Yeah. But it's chocolatey and rich
and probably gooey because of that layer of icing. It might have a little bit.
Yeah, it has like a little bit. Yeah, because it sort of seeps in, and it cooks really fast. Another reason it's good in the summer because you don't have to heat your kitchen. Like you don't heat up your kitchen all day. Yep. So, and it's something like my mom would usually like put together first thing in the morning to take to a dinner that night. Okay. She'd whip it together and then just let it, I remember it would sit on the counter all day.
And you couldn't touch it.
And I couldn't touch it.
Super
and I was
tempting.
so upset. It was so upsetting. All I wanted was to eat the cake.
So, would you have ever thought back when we met, when you moved into that apartment with Alex?
Yeah, I was living with two.
Lexi and
Alex.
That we'd be here cooking today with...
No. Well, no, I didn't know at the time, but, you know, stranger things have been known to happen.
Well, the funny thing that you, Lexi, and I had in common other than singing was that we loved to cook.
Right.
So, starting that Sunday night, like cooking
that's
marathon tradition where we would get together and just cook and then watch our shows was always a really fun highlight of my weekend because it was very relaxing for me to just kind of visit, and like we barely knew each other. Yeah, so I knew Chris from Voice Experience, and lo and behold, you guys have been married how many years now?
8.
8 years.
We've been married 8 years. Yep.
I love it. And then his love of cooking too just kind of melds with your love of cooking. So
nothing that my grandmother ever made required like a special ingredient because it was all like, it's really all like pantry food. Like it was stuff that she either grew in her garden or could get very easily. Oh, it smells so good. Oh!
One thing I love about you, Jen, is you get just as excited about good food as I do.
I'm really excited about it.
So it's cooked.
I think it's good. I would turn it off and just let it sit.
We need more cocoa powder for the top?
Yes.
Okay, so we have these two.
So it's chocolate on chocolate on chocolate.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. So again, farm recipes, not everyday food. We're going to use another stick of butter.
Well, you know, now they've shown that butter, olive oil, avocado, coconut oil, things that are high in those kind of fats are actually good for you. It's the more sugar and processed foods that are not good for us. So we're going to say that this is a very healthy...
No, we're not going to say that.
We're going to say this is a very healthy glaze that we're throwing on.
We're not going to say that because I'm about to put a box of powdered sugar.
Oh no! You ruined my...
So, but you have to remember, like, also with farm families, my family was crazy active because they were always outside and they're always...
Burn that off in an hour.
Like, that was something, like, in terms of their diet that was never really thought about. Like, because they just ate everything and you know, they were so active that it really wasn't a huge...
There's nobody that's heavy in your family. I feel like when I went to your wedding, all the boys were like super fit.
Yeah.
And they just worked really hard. And they ate a ton.
Yes.
At your reception. A ton.
Oh, and that was the other thing, growing up on a farm. So they never bought milk like this.
Oh, you had the best milk ever.
And my grandmother didn't buy milk from a store.
So you drank the milk raw from the cow straight?
Yeah, they would, you know, they put it through its, like...
Would they pasteurize it, or they would just, oh, they did.
There was one step. Okay. But, like, that's the other reason my grandmother's baked goods, they were, you know, she used eggs from her chickens.
Oh, so delicious.
And she used cow's milk.
Uh-huh.
Which, of course, now they can't sell it to anybody, but of course, like, that's what everyone grew up on. Right. Yeah. But whenever my mom would decide that she was going to bake a cake, she would go get, like, milk from my grandmother and eggs to make it really, really good. And it also makes the best ice cream in the summertime. My grandma would make homemade ice cream.
Wow. Now, see, that's similar to where my abuelo grew up in Naranjito in Puerto Rico. It was what we would call en el campo. It was up like in the mountains, and a tiny little town. And they had goats and chickens, and they would grow stuff. So they also would have the fresh eggs, and drink the goat milk, and sometimes make a goat stew. So Midwestern girl and Puerto Rican girl, we do have that thing in common about the fresh eggs and kind of a little bit of, if you didn't live in a city in Puerto Rico, you probably had chickens and some sort of farm animal.
Okay, I think we can just let that stay here on the warm stove, and it'll still stay pourable. Great. So our watercress salad is going to be really simple. Awesome. I'm just going to throw some little baby tomatoes and some avocado in there, and just a little bit of salt and pepper and some olive oil. That's it. My grandma would be so proud of me right now. How old is your grandmother? My grandmother is 81. Aww. My grandfather is 86. Oh, wow. And they have been married for 51 years. Wow, I love that. Yeah. And they are so in really adorable. Great shape. They are. Like, your grandmother still mows their property. My grandmother still push mows her lawn. She does it in installments, and by the time she finishes the last portion, she has to start back at the beginning again because it's taken like a week to 10 days. I love it. But she does it. But she gets out there and moves her body and does it. My grandfather still gets in. They now have an air-conditioned tractor. My grandfather could use in the height of summer. I didn't even know there was such a thing as an air-conditioned tractor. That's incredible. And my grandfather gets first dibs on that tractor if something needs to get done during the summer. My grandmother still does a vegetable garden in the summer, which her grandchildren, her children and grandchildren help because like she can plant potatoes, but digging them up is really like backbreaking work. So my young cousins that you've all met, they're all now like late teens, early 20s. Wow. And they help with that. That's great. Oh. Okay. Shall we check it? I think that looks pretty. Right? That looks how it should look. That looks beautiful. And then we'll just let this cool. And as you can see, like it's super shiny. And like makes you want to eat the whole thing. But it's done. Yay! I'm so excited. Is there burnt rice? Is there little bits of burnt on the bottom? On the bottom. That's my favorite part. Yes. Okay. That's my favorite part. Buen provecho. Yes. Yay. So thanks so much for cooking with me today. Thanks for having me over. So much fun. And I'm really glad I got to learn a little more about your adorable grandmother. and I'm glad I got to know about yours. So buen provecho. Enjoy. Yes. You too. Thanks. For sure. Yeah.
It came out very well.
I can't believe I waited this long to know how to do the gandules part. You told me how to make arroz con pollo so long ago.
Right. Well, now you know arroz con gandules.
Mm-hmm.
You can be fancy and make it for your friends and say, I know this Puerto Rican dish. Oh my goodness.
I'll let you take
Let's
from
taste
to
this. Thank you for making this chocolate cake today, Jen. It's really good.